Hello everybody, this is Iru. I'm going to be finally uploading a new video, and I'm going to be sticking with Zerg vs. Terrans for just a little bit, because I feel like that's what the community needs help with. So this is a game I just played on the ladder. This is me versus Lastimelarry, or Lastimelarry, Lastimelarry, who's a 1450 point Terran, so he's no slouch. Depending on what you think of terrans, of course, versus me. And I have fallen wildly in the ladder lately, but I am also like 1300 and 1400 point diamond. So let's get this started. This is a build I've been working on a lot lately, and it's the first time it really ever got used by a pro was Cool. Used it in the GSL round of 8 last night, and so I wanted to make this video to show that this is a build I've actually been working on for a long time, and when he did it I was basically cheering, because I feel like so few Zergs use this build. So yeah, pretty standard mixed standard. Go ahead and get the Overlord on 9. Let's check out these APMs here. Okay, pretty standard. Looks like he's gonna go for more complicated wall off here without his supply, and of course I scout. Well, I suppose I couldn't scout the right direction, but then I start my 11th and 12th drone right after the Overlord hatches, and then send out my drone, my scout. I do that so that these two kind of hit relatively similar times, and if you do come here before you get down to here, you know if he's here, if that makes sense. So it just becomes a really simple process of elimination. Also, always check, like, don't just check this and go, oh, he's not there. Because, for instance, this guy, some players don't actually wall off, like, immediately. And you want to be totally aware of them doing that, because if you are aware of it, then you can basically win. Terran basically has to wall off. So I did 14 hatch. 9 Overlord drones to 14, then 14 hatchery, and then it is 14 pool, so hatchery, 1 more drone, then pool, and then I believe 1 more drone, yeah, there you go, and then gas. Yeah, here we go, gas. Okay, so it's 14 pool, 14 gas, 14 hatch. Not in that order. And I gas steal him here. This is very important because if the person does like a really quick into like Banshee build, cloaked Banshees, this will screw them up massively. It's really the only thing it screws up. It doesn't screw up like early factory. As you can see, he's got 100 gas right now. So if he had skipped that marine, he could have gotten a factory, which I think he does get like right now. And it's just important to keep canceling that. It's like the perfect number of units to never do damage to this. It's very slow, but yeah. Let's go back to production here. So after my hatch, I get 2 queens. This is like very important. 2 queens before any Zerglings whatsoever. Let's go to units. So since the reason I did this is because there's no tech lab. If there had been a tech lab here, I would have gotten the Roach Warren down ASAP. And it's probably a spine like here, and yeah, but instead I didn't see that. I saw a reactor. I just saw barracks actually in its normal time. Come on hero, come on, there we go. And then I get normal speed. Again, this is exactly what Cool is doing, and then a baneling nest. So the build that it is 14 hatch speed banelings, which is actually like incredibly effective, and I'm still getting this guy here. Just finally dies, kind of forcing an early expand out of the Terran. And see, the thing about this strategy is right now is I'm actually 2 workers behind. Like 14 hatch does not necessarily put you up in workers. A lot of people tend to go, oh, I 14 hatched, I'm probably fine in terms of economy, but you're really not. That was was bad micro by me, but it doesn't particularly matter. I'm not so sure why these came back. Maybe just to be repaired. Yeah. Well, that was kind of a bad decision because it gave time to get my speed done. So here you see speed is finished. I'm still 3 workers behind. And then the lair starts real quick. You never take guys, you get 1 gas, and you never take guys off gas from the moment you put them in to get your speed, and then you get your banelings, and then you get your lair, and then you'll have enough leftover gas to, that was pretty poor micro by him there. But it's not really much you can do. Speedlings basically eat Hellions. And by the way, magic number against Terran is 4 or 5. I get 6 here because I thought that he would have had Marines. But, surprised that he saw that, but he didn't immediately back that up. Yeah, okay, here comes a... Anyways, yeah, with 5 you can take out that reactor. The reactor being the most important thing. Especially if he's getting Hellions. But this build's relatively safe. Let's pause right here. Let's say he had gone for quick Banshees. You're gonna be okay from quick Banshees because you have 2 queens and 2 hatcheries, so you can really quickly make queens. The one weakness is that if I had seen it, I would have needed to immediately set down a creep tumor here and here, so that I can get my queens in a reasonable amount of time. That sucked. I lost an overlord somewhere. These 2 Vikings took an overlord. That does hurt you as Zerg. I'm blocked now. But I am only still 2 workers behind. So, and... Whoa, lag. And obviously breaking into his base here. Killing mules. Mules are huge. I don't think I get too many more workers. Maybe I get a few. Pretty bad control on my part. Although right now I'm not really trying to control these guys, and I mean now I am trying to focus down these fuckers. But it's not so important that you micro terribly well once your lings are in the base, because they'll just naturally do a ridiculous amount of damage. It's more important that you immediately go back. The second your bus completes and your guys are getting in, you immediately go back and start as many workers as you possibly can. There should probably be a spire. Yep, there's my spire. Which goes down only really after I know whether or not I'm safe. Like, for instance, with this attack, I know I'm safe. Because, you know, I crippled him pretty bad. He's not going to move out with a Viking and a siege tank. As scary as those units are, he's just not going to move out with just that. He's probably going to try to lift this and expand. So yeah, I mean, if that bust had failed, like if it had completely failed, you know, getting past here, then it would have do have a roach warren, I hope. Maybe I don't have a roach warren in this game. But either way, the roach warren would have gone down, and I would have just switched to mass speedlings, because he would have pushed out, and speedlings basically ruin tank marine. That's the very important counter. Tank marine basically kills everything Zerg has, like everything except for tier 3 upgraded infestors and ultralisks, or Zerglings. So obviously at this point in the game, Zerglings are much more feasible. So he's coming into scout. My game's a little laggy here, sorry about that. It's not common. That's a lot of blood for a piece of machinery. So you can see at this point I'm 10 workers up. He's still got the 2 mules, so we're equal on income, but the mules are not always going to be there, especially calling them down 2 at a time. It does look like he's, you know what I mean, right now he's 200 income ahead, but I'm still beating him in the worker count, which is really the most important thing Zerg has to worry about. And so I know at this point he's taking his second, and with the 14 hatch the key is, if he's taking his second, you take your third. If he's taking his third, you take your fourth. You try to stop them as best as you can, but it's not always possible. And so as you can see, I never stopped mining gas here the whole game. Getting my second gases up relatively quick, like when the spire goes down is when I put the 3 other gases up, and that just allows me to make an absolutely ridiculous amount of mutalisks. So he really hasn't had a chance to do anything this game since, you know what I mean, since his Hellions went out, basically. That was the only aggression I've allowed from him, and those Hellions I shut down pretty hard. I mean, they could have done more before I had speed, but I still shut them down with the first couple Zerglings. I'm scared, and then speed would have caught them after that. So just being careful with my mutas. I lost a muta there. You can micro against Marines, but it's risky, and you can't know if he has stim pack or not. So all of a sudden they'll just stim out of nowhere. Bam, game over. The really risky thing here with mutas too is that he's got, like, for instance he's got double reactor Marines, and if you go like spines and mutilas, you can lose the game. Like, he could just come here, siege up his tanks, and it would be over. There's nothing you could do. You can't attack directly with the muta, and the spines aren't going to protect you from the tanks. So I've lost many a game like that, and the key to the answer to that is exactly, good thinking me. The answer to that is banelings. Lots and lots of banelings, and an infestation pit, just in case this attack goes really hard. I have a shitload of muta, so it's not out of the question just to take down missile turrets. Yeah, and then 7 or 8. If you outnumber the Marines, just attack them. Marines are really scary, but if you outnumber them, just kill them. They won't do enough damage. Even if you target fires, maybe you'll kill a mutalisk or 2. But it's well worthy just to cut down on his number. Like, for instance, this here. Do that, and instead of running away worrying about damage, just attack. I lost a muta. Maybe I'll lose another. No, I just lost 1. And then from there on out, I mean, this is the dude who double expanded. He was mass Marines. He built missile turrets. There's not, yeah, and there you go. There he leaves the game. It's not like he wasn't prepared for these mutalisks. In fact, if we look at his vision, well, so he didn't scan the mutas. Well, his vision was actually pretty poor, I gotta say. I did not expect that. Okay, so there's the Roach Warren, and I am getting speed. It's always good that you need to have these sort of contingencies. That's the key to being a Zerg player. You noticed, like, I went out with 4 Zerglings, and if that failed, which it did, obviously, the Hellions roasted them. And it's not like it's meant to do too much, but the idea is for everything you do, you need to be prepared to fail. Which is disgusting, really, I gotta say, but, you know, it's smart tactics anyways. So my Zerglings went forward, my 4 Zerglings, but I had speed to back it up. And then my Mutalisks went forward, and they succeeded, but if they hadn't, I would have had mass speed roaches and a gold expansion coming up to deal with that. So again, and this is basically exactly what Cool did, what's his name now? OGSSKS? SSKS? He did it against Protoss, but it's beautiful against Terran too. He didn't use the mutas, he just straight murdered him with the 14 hatch Baneling build. And a lot of times you'll beat the Zerg. I mean, you noticed I busted into the Terran. If he's not prepared for it, yeah, I mean, he had a few tanks and landed Vikings, which just slaughter Zerglings. But if he's not prepared for it, you'll straight win. And you'll get called a cheeser. I win with a strategy a lot. You just bust in with speedlings and you kill every one of their workers. You know, and you cheesing Zergling Rusher. But the key here is that you're actually 14 hatching. So you're not speedling rushing at all, or you're not cheesing at all. And if you looked at my income / workers the whole game, 16 to 15, I'm never more than 2 behind. In fact, after my bust, I'm, you know, I think 10 ahead or something. And so you basically you're doing everything you can in this game to keep the Terran on the defensive, because the very last thing in the world you want is the Terran just to march across the map and park his tanks and park his Marines and just kill everything. that's that would be devastating. So anyways, that's how you beat Terran. Most Terrans, especially on a map like this. It's all about being wicked greedy and then wicked aggressive all at the same time. Hooray for Zerg. So yeah, don't give up, don't switch to Terran, don't switch to Protoss. Oh, I will find you and I will hurt you. Anyways, yeah, you're signing off.